చేయలేదండి. ఇప్పుడు చేస్తున్నాను. చేశాను. ఓకే. ఓకే. థ్యాంక్ యూ. Okay, I will again give some briefing upon this permanent magnet moving coil. Is my screen visible to you? Is my screen visible? Is it visible? Permanent magnet moving coil. Permanent magnet is placed and the moving coil is also maintained. Therefore, I can call this as PMMC meter or D Arsenal galvanometer here. Okay. Actual the shape of this permanent magnet moving coil is this one. I am going to take some permanent magnet. In between this permanent magnet, I am going to place this. I am going to place this coil, rectangular coil, by placing some a soft iron core is placed. With the help of soft iron core, I am going to place here. This is the rectangular moving coil. Okay. From this rectangular moving coil, one pointer is I'm making some pointer here. I'm going to maintain one pointer. One pointer is maintained, and from this balancing of this pointer, I am going to take some balancing weight here. Okay. And this pointer, across this pointer, I am placing some mirror here, and some scale is also placed in order to obtain some readings. And these are the radial magnetic field. Radial magnetic field is indicated like this. Whatever the video you have gone through, in that video they have given radial magnetic field, and this is the spring. This is the magnetic coil. The same diagram I have given like this. This is the horseshoe shape permanent magnet. Permanent magnet is provided with some spring, pivot, and jewel bearings here. Here some balanced weight is maintained for this pointer, mirror, and scale. Each and every these springs are going to give some control torque, whereas this coil and former will give some damping torque. Entire this PMMC instrument is the basic principle for this PMMC instrument is Fleming's left hand rule. When a current carrying coil is placed in the magnetic field, then it is going to exert some force, and we are going to take that force in terms of some torque here. That is in terms of some deflecting torque and control torque. This main thing, in order to obtain this pointer in this steady state format, I am going to take this both the torques in the equal. In the steady state format, ఆ పాయింటర్ మనకి స్టేషనరీ పొజిషన్లో రావాలి అంటే I am going to take these torques in the equal proportionate manner. Okay. And each and every point we have seen earlier. Okay, please go through that one. This is the construction part of PMMC galvanometer. Permanent magnet moving coil instruments are most accurate type of DC measurement. This is the current carrying coil is placed in the magnetic field, produces the permanent magnet. The coil experiences a force and moves here. As the coil is moving and the magnet is permanent, the instrument is called permanent magnet moving coil instrument. The basic principle is D'Arsonval's principle. The amount of force experienced by the coil is proportional to the current passing through the coil. Construction. Next one, each and every instrument, you are supposed to know the what is the basic principle, what is the construction part, and what is the working part, as well as finally what is the application, what is the advantage, disadvantage. All these things you are supposed to maintain for each and every instrument. That is the basic thing you need to memorize. Okay. Construction part. The moving coil is either a rectangular shape or circular shape. Okay. It has the number of turns of fine wire. The coil is suspended so that it is free to turn about its vertical axis. The coil is placed in the uniform horizontal and radial magnetic field of the permanent magnet. This permanent magnet is in the shape of horseshoe. We are this core material and coil material. This core material is spherical in shape, then it is coil is going to be in the circular shape. Whereas this core material is in the cylindrical shape, then the coil is in the rectangular in shape. We are using this one, this cylindrical and rectangular. Okay. And the iron core Iron core is spherical if coil is circular, and it is cylindrical if the coil is rectangular. Due to the iron core, the deflecting torque increases the sensitivity of the instrument. Control torque is provided by the two prosperous bronze height springs. Top లో bottom లో తీసుకున్నాం కదమ్మా, two prosperous springs అట్లా అనమాట. And damping torque is provided by eddy current damping. It is obtained by moving of the former. Aluminum former is placed. Due to that movement of the former, I am going to obtain this damping torque. Okay. Pointer is carried by the spindle and it moves over the graduated scale, and the pointer has a lightweight so that it can deflect rapidly. అది లైట్ వెయిట్గా ఉండటం వల్ల it can be deflects very rapidly. Therefore, I am supposed to maintain some counterbalance of the weight. And the mirror is going to be placed at 90 degrees between the pointer to get the accurate reading by removing this parallax error. The weight of the instrument is normally counterbalanced by the weights situated diametrically opposite and rigidly connected to it. We are going to maintain three balanced counterweights. We are going to maintain three balanced counterweights. Okay. And this galvanometer instrument is mainly used for the measurement of small currents voltages in the closed circuit, and it can be this is the moving coil type we have discussed. Moving iron type is also there. Okay. And this is the working part. Please go through that one. Next, the equation for this development of torque can be obtained from the basic law of electromagnetic torque. The deflecting torque is given by Td is equal to NBAI. Actually, in the video, NIAB is provided there. NIAB. Let me draw that one. NIAB sin theta. This angle is 90 degrees. Then sin theta is 1. Okay. This is N is the number of turns, B is flux density in air gap, A is effective coil area, A is current in the moving coil. Td is given by Gi, where G is NBA. That is, I am treating that it as constant here. Control torque Tc is equal to K theta, where K is spring constant, theta is angular deflection. At for final steady state position, Td is equal to Tc. That I am making those two equations equal. Therefore, Gi is equal to K theta. Theta is equal to G by K into I. I is equal to G by K into theta. Okay. Therefore, pointer deflection can be used to measure current here. As the direction of the current through to the coil changes, the direction of the deflection of the pointer also changes here. These are the advantages. It has uniform scale. It consumes less power. Powerful magnets are used. The operating current is also very small. Sensitivity is high. Effective damping is done. High accuracy. No hysteresis losses, free from hysteresis error. Disadvantages are only DC measurement, aging effect, cost is high. Friction due to the dual pivot suspension is also high. Errors in permanent magnet moving coil causes mainly because of friction, temperature, and aging. Okay. This is about permanent magnet moving coil. Shall I play one more time that video? Shall I play? Shall I play? Anyone, please respond. Shall I play that one? In recording, that video may be missing. Shall I play that one again? Is it visible now? Is it visible? Hamsi?
Yes, sir.
Again, please listen one more time. It will be helpful.
video, we are going to talk about the working of permanent magnet moving coil galvanometer. What is galvanometer? Galvanometers is an electromechanical instrument used for detecting and indicating an electric current. It is a sensitive electromagnetic device which can measure low currents, even of the order of a few microamperes. Galvanometers works as an actuator by producing a rotary deflection in response to electric current flowing through a coil in a constant magnetic field. Now let's talk about the constructional detail of the permanent magnet moving coil galvanometer. Permanent magnet moving coil galvanometer is made up of a two concave permanent magnet, where magnetic field is directed from north to south, and rectangular coil that has many turns, usually made of thinly insulated or fine copper wire, is wounded on a metallic frame, which is pivoted from both the ends. The coil is free to rotate about a fixed axis. This whole arrangement consists of two phosphor bronze hair-like springs. The first one is connected to a upper pivoted free end of the coil, and second spring is connected to the bottom pivoted free end of the coil. And both of these springs are fixed from the other end by the help of a binding screw. A cylindrical soft iron core is symmetrically positioned inside the coil to improve the strength of the magnetic field and to make the field radial. There is a very important reason for keeping the magnetic field radial, which we will talk about later in this video during the working of a galvanometer. Also, the pointer is mounted on a pivoted coil for measuring the angular deflection in the coil, and two ends of the coil are connected to the two terminals of the galvanometer. Principle of permanent magnet moving coil galvanometer. Permanent magnet moving coil galvanometer works on the principle that current carrying coil placed in a magnetic field experiences a torque. When the current is allowed to pass through the coil, current starts flowing from A to B in the left arm of the coil and from C to D in the right arm of the coil. As we can see in the animation, that in the arm AB, direction of the current is upward, and in the arm CD, direction of the current is downward, while the direction of magnetic field is from north to south for both the arm AB and BC. Therefore, according to the left-hand Fleming rule, two couple of forces or torque starts acting on a coil, which will help in rotating of a coil and causes angular deflection of the pointer. At this time, hairspring comes into play and creates counter torque to resist any extra unnecessary deflection or damage of a very sensitive pointer, and always ensures the proper functioning of the galvanometer. Corresponding calibrated scale is provided for converting the angular deflection of a pointer in a microamperes. Now let's try to understand that why this radial magnetic field is needed. Here we have used concave shaped magnets to provide radial magnetic field. But why? Let's explore it. As we all know, equation of the torque in this case is NIAB sine theta, where N represents number of turns, I is the current, and theta is the angle between the magnetic field B and the area vector, which is always normal to the plane of the rectangular coil. It's very clear that sine theta for an angle of 90 degree is always 1. Let's move to the top view and try to analyze it. Now we can see that because of the radial magnetic field, for each and every positions of the coil, magnetic field and the area vector are at right angle, or theta equals 90 degree. Therefore, radial magnetic field provides constant torque irrespective of the rotation of the coil. This makes the deflection directly proportional to the current. Because N, A and B was already constant and now theta also becomes constant. That's why. Now current I is the only variable, which makes it easy to calibrate the instrument for the measuring purpose. Thanks for watching friends. Please don't forget to like our video and subscribe to our channel so that you
Okay, students. Hmm. Now, is my screen visible to you? Is my screen visible? Anyone, please respond. DC ammeters visible to you? Is it visible? Okay. Next topic is DC ammeters. DC ammeters. The basic structure of this DC ammeter is I am going to take one resistance. That resistance is a shunt resistance. That resistance is RSH, RSH shunt resistance, and one meter is placed. This is the PMMC meter only. Basic meter is PMMC meter only is placed. That is this meter resistance is I am going to take that resistance as RM. Okay, the flow of current is taking place like this is the total current I, and it is flowing across this resistance RSH, and this meter, this ammeter is placed, this PMMC meter is placed, and the flow of current across that meter is Im. Okay, the basic moment of a DC ammeter is the PMMC galvanometer. Since the coil winding of a basic movement is small, coil winding of this basic movement is small and light, it can carry only a very small amount of current. Okay, when large currents are to be measured, it is necessary to bypass the major part of the current required to be bypassed through a resistance is called shunt. It is going to be bypass the large amount of current, that is that's why we are placing here shunt resistance is going to be placed here. The shunt resistance can be calculated as we are supposed to calculate what is this shunt resistance. Shunt resistance is going to be calculated as let it be Rm is the internal resistance. Rm is internal resistance of the coil. RSH is shunt resistance. Im is full scale deflection current. Im, this one. Im is full scale deflection current. ISH is shunt current. Therefore, total current I is given by shunt current as well as this Im, meter current Im. As the two resistances RSH and Rm are in parallel, the voltage drop across the shunt and the moment must be the same. Voltage drop and the meter movement must be the same, and we can write it as that V shunt voltage across that meter as well as across the shunt. I am going to take these two voltages as equal here. That is V shunt is equal to V moment. Therefore, this V shunt, this voltage drop across this one as well as voltage drop across this one should be equal. Then only the meter moment will be equal. Here, V shunt is equal to V moment. Therefore, ISH is equal to RSH. That is equal to Im Rm. RSH is equal to Im Rm by ISH. Shunt current is given by ISH is equal to I minus Im, and we know this RSH. I am going to take this again. Again, I am going to take this equation. RSH is equal to Im Rm by ISH. I will substitute this ISH here, and Im Rm by I minus Im. After substituting, this one, I am going to take this Im in the denominator. Okay, Rm by this I minus Im by Im. That is equal to Rm by I minus Im minus 1. I am going to take this term I by Im as small m here. This is the multiplying power of the shunt. This is the multiplying power of the shunt. I am going to take this term as small m here, that is Rm by m minus 1. This is better. You write these equations. Better to write these equations, please. Draw this diagram. Draw this diagram. Draw this diagram. Is it finished? Next one. Please note all these terms. Note all these terms. There is no need of writing again all these terms. Then total current is equal to ISS plus IM. I is equal to ISS plus IM. Voltage drop across the shunt and the meter moment must be same. Therefore, I am equating this one. VSH is equal to V moment. Then ISH RSH is equal to IM RM. Then RSH is equal to IM RM by ISH. Please note down these terms also. But we know this from basic equation. From this equation, ISH is equal to I minus IM. Then again take this equation. RSH is equal to IM RM by ISH. Substitute this ISH here. IM RM by I minus IM. Take this IM term to the denominator side of this term, I minus IM term. Then the entire term will become Rm by M minus 1. Rm by M minus 1. Therefore, shunt resistance RSH is equal to Im by Rm by M minus 1. This is the final term. This is the final term, shunt resistance term. Here, the resistance material has a very low temperature coefficient, are mainly used for measuring very large current here. Very low resistance material will give some large currents here, are going to give some large currents. Thus, to increase the range of ammeter m times, the shunt resistance required is 1 by m minus 1. 1 by m minus 1. మనం రేంజ్ పెంచాలనుకోండి, ఈ టర్మ్ను మనం ఇంక్రీజ్ చేసామంటే automatically the range of the ammeter is going to be increased. That is, extension of the range is possible in ammeter. Okay, that is extension of the range is possible by this term, by this m term. Okay, and one problem can be given like this. 1 milliampere meter movement with the internal resistance of 100 ohm is to be converted into 0 to 100 milliamps ammeter. Calculate the shunt resistance required like this. Rm is provided, that is 100 ohm. Im is provided, 1 milliamp, 1 milliamps. I is provided, that is 100 milliamps. RSH is equal to Im Rm. What is the formula we have obtained previously? Im Rm. RSH is equal to Im Rm by ISH. That is the formula we have written here. RSH is equal to Im Rm by ISH. Just written this formula and we can substitute all these terms. Then this resistance 1.01 ohms. Ohms are going to be obtained here. Okay, ISH is equal to I minus Im, that is 100 minus 1, that is 99 milliamperes of current across the shunt is going to be takes place across the shunt level. In this way we can calculate each and every parameter also. Okay, this is about normal one. We will see this multi-range ammeter in the next class. Multi-range ammeter as well as I-turn shunt ammeter is also there. We will see those two topics in the next class. Okay, students, please, I will share this material. Please go through this topic one more time and you will get acquaintance. You are supposed to get acquaintance with the topic, then only you can score good marks in your exams. ఓకే, కాన్సెప్చువల్గా చదవండి అమ్మా, బెటర్ కాన్సెప్చువల్గా చూసుకోండి. ఏదో ఊరికనే డయాగ్రాము వేస్తున్నాము, ఏదో రాస్తున్నాము అట్లా కాదు. కాన్సెప్చువల్గా ఆ డయాగ్రామ్లోనే అన్ని పార్ట్స్, ఆ పార్ట్స్లో నుంచి అన్నీ వచ్చేయాలి. మన థియరీ ఆ డయాగ్రామ్ నుంచే ఇన్ఫర్ చేసుకోగలగాలి. అట్లా చదవండి బెటర్. అప్పుడు మీకు ఎన్ని టాపిక్స్ ఉన్నా, ఎన్ని టాపిక్స్ చదివినా సరే ఇట్ విల్ బి వెరీ ఈజీ ఫర్ యూ. Okay. Okay, students, you can leave now. I am stopping the ending the session. Thank you.